Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever noticed how, on some days, you just feel completely invincible? Like you could tackle literally anything thrown your way. But then, on other days, just replying to a single email feels like, I don't know, climbing Mount Everest? Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're exploring a seemingly simple but absolutely profound concept from our source text. We're looking at vitality management for peak performance. We are going to unpack the absolute core of personal energy. You know, it's something every single one of us relies on every minute of the day, but we rarely stop to actually think about how it dictates our success, our moods, our whole shebang. Think about it. Energy is literally the currency of your life. If you don't understand how you're spending it, well, you're going to go bankrupt pretty fast. So let's take a deep dive into the source material and figure out exactly how to harness that energy.
So here's the question. Are you really ready for challenging situations? Let's be brutally honest with ourselves for a second. Whether it's, say, a huge project getting dropped on your desk at 4 p.m. on a Friday, we've all been there, or maybe navigating a complex dynamic at home, or honestly just dealing with the relentless, unpredictable pace of everyday life, challenging situations aren't just likely, they are absolutely guaranteed, right? We cannot hide from them, no matter how perfectly we color-code our calendars. Life just loves to throw curveballs. So the ultimate question isn't whether you're going to face these hurdles, but exactly how equipped you'll be when they inevitably show up. Are you going to be caught completely off guard, just scrambling to keep your head above water? Or are you going to be grounded, prepared, and ready to take them head on? That crucial difference in readiness is exactly what the source text wants us to tackle.
Now, to handle those inevitable hurdles, our source material points to one absolute, non-negotiable necessity: achieving what it calls being in top shape. Now, let's clarify this real quick, because we aren't just talking about, hitting the gym or training for a marathon here. The text uses top shape to represent a truly holistic, comprehensive state of readiness. It's your mental clarity, your emotional resilience, and yes, your physical stamina too. When the pressure really mounts and the stakes are super high, just surviving the day, that's not going to cut it. If you just muddle through, you end up totally exhausted and frankly, prone to making mistakes. You need to be operating at your absolute peak to navigate those hurdles effectively. All your faculties have to be sharp, focused, and aligned. That full body, full mind readiness, that is the true definition of being in top shape.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating to me about this concept is that being in top shape isn't framed as some luxury or a nice-to-have bonus. It's not just something you aspire to on a weekend or a yoga retreat. According to the text, it's a strict prerequisite. It is the baseline state of readiness you absolutely need to effectively face those challenging situations we just talked about. Think of it kind of like this. If you aren't in this state, you're essentially stepping onto the battlefield of your daily life at a massive disadvantage. It's like trying to drive a car with a near-empty gas tank on a terribly bumpy road. You're just not going to get very far. It's a fundamental requirement for success. I mean, you wouldn't expect a pro athlete to walk onto the field without warming up, right? The text makes the argument that we need to treat the challenges of our own lives with that exact same level of professional respect and intense preparation.
Let's zoom in on that specific phrase for a second. Facing challenging situations. The source doesn't sugarcoat reality here, and I actually really appreciate that. It demands that we acknowledge the sheer weight and the intense pressure these moments put on us. Every challenging situation acts like this massive, heavy boulder pressing down on our internal reserves. It drains us. It requires immense resilience, fierce focus, and some deep, deep stamina just to hold the line, let alone actually keep moving forward. I mean, have you ever noticed how physically exhausting a purely mental task can be? That's the exact weight we're talking about here. It's real, it is tangible, and if you don't respect the toll it takes on your mind and body, it's eventually going to crush your productivity and probably your spirit too. Recognizing the sheer gravity of these situations is really the first crucial step to actually managing them.
And this brings us to a frankly brilliant metaphor that perfectly illustrates the central tension outlined in our source. Just picture a scale. On the left side of this scale, we have all those external demands, the challenging situations, the stress, the looming deadlines, the whole shebang, just pushing down super heavily on us. And on the right side, we have our internal supply, our managed energy. It is a very delicate but incredibly necessary equilibrium. Now, here's the real insight, the real light bulb moment. Most of us spend our entire lives obsessing over the left side of that scale. We endlessly manage our problems, we tweak our to-do lists, we agonize over our schedules. But we completely ignore the right side. To counterbalance the immense weight of your daily challenges, you absolutely must cultivate and actively grow your internal energy supply. If the left side gets heavier, which it will, the right side has to grow to match it, or the whole system just tips over. Which leads us directly to the core mechanism, the ultimate solution provided by our source. This is where the magic actually happens. How do we actually build up that internal supply on the right side of our scale? Well, through deliberate energy management. And look, forget about superficial ideas of self-care for a second. We're not talking about taking a bubble bath or a random spa day here. The source material frames managing your energy as the ultimate strategic form of self-care. It's not passive at all. It's a deliberate, active, daily engine. Managing your energy means deeply recognizing what depletes you, identifying what fills you back up, and then fiercely protecting those boundaries. It is literally the engine that powers your ability to withstand life's heavy lifting. Because without that engine running smoothly, all the talent and ambition in the world won't get you through those really hard days.
When we put all these pieces together, we arrive at this incredibly powerful, unified concept that we can call vitality management. Drawing purely from the logic of our source context, we can define this simply as the act of taking care of yourself by managing your energy to stay in top shape. It essentially becomes this profound mantra for how to live and work. In this context, taking care of yourself is not an indulgence. It means the highly strategic deployment and the vital conservation of your energy reserves. It means knowing exactly when to push hard and knowing exactly when to pull back and recharge so you don't burn out. Vitality management turns self-care from this vague, fluffy buzzword into a highly practical, totally measurable system. It's the daily discipline of just making absolutely sure your internal battery never hits zero.
You can actually see how beautifully all this cascades. It's not just a random collection of neat ideas. It's a highly logical, step-by-step causal chain. It all begins with a conscious choice to deliberately manage your energy. That foundational action guarantees that you are actively taking care of yourself in the most meaningful way possible. And as a natural, inevitable result of that care, your mind and body are actually able to maintain that elusive state of being in top shape, which ultimately means when life inevitably throws that curveball, you step up to face those challenging situations fully equipped, completely ready, and incredibly resilient. It's just a perfect continuous loop. You manage the energy, you maintain the shape, you handle the challenge, and then you start the whole process over by managing your energy once again to recover. It's basically a bulletproof system for sustainable high-level performance.
So it all culminates in this one definitive blueprint from the text. And I want to share this exact quote with you because it just captures everything so perfectly. Here it is. To be in top shape for facing challenging situations, take care of yourself by managing your energy. It's brilliantly concise, right? It's literally just a single sentence, but it's an entire comprehensive instruction manual for human resilience. Everything we've discussed today, the heavy burdens, the scale of internal versus external demands, the strategic self-care, it is all packed right in there. It shifts the focus away from just trying to hopelessly control the uncontrollable events of the world, and it puts the power firmly back in your hands. You might not be able to control the challenging situations, but you have absolute, total control over how you manage your energy to meet them.
The theory here is crystal clear, but the actual execution, well, that is entirely in your hands. The text gives us the formula, but you have to be the one to apply it to your real, messy, everyday life. So as we close out this explainer and you look ahead to the rest of your day, I really want to leave you with this one thought. How will you manage your energy today? Seriously, what is one specific, tangible step you can take right now to ensure you are filling up that right side of the scale? Because ensuring you are in top shape for tomorrow's challenges, that doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. Take care of your energy, and the rest will absolutely follow.